Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcro here, aka Scoot, back with the World Showdown Series Season 6, and we've got our week number 7 match against MLG Poplio and his Enschede Ponytas. I'm not sure how you say that. Anyways, he's got a pretty threatening squad with threats like Infernape, Kieran Black, Landers, Therian, as you see on screen, supported by things like Celebi, Empoleon, Mega Audino, Umbreon, even Gigalith, Savali, and Wheezing. And then he's got the Zip Striker there, pretty fast electric type, so that's pretty cool. He's got Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes, Heal Bell, Wish, lots of Wishers, and some incredible breakers and cleanup crews, such as Infernape, Scarf Landers, so on and so forth. Even Kieran Black could be a nice cleanup. Not necessarily versus my squad, because I have so many things that could revenge kill, and he can't necessarily lock himself into anything, so I don't see like a choice variant coming. I do have Aegislash, Hydreigon, and Mega Gardevoir, so I don't see him being able to lock into anything. Infernape's a huge threat. Fighting types have ripped me apart all season, unfortunately, but we've got a few different things in this matchup that could potentially help us against that. As you see on screen, we're bringing the Aegislash. We'll go over his entire, well, we did go over his entire roster. We'll go over my entire roster. Aegislash, Hydreigon, Mega Gardevoir, Terrakion, Licky Licky, Crocodile, Rotom Heat, Dugtrio, Acelgor, the Go-Goat, and the Lapras. So pretty fun squad this season. Not been doing the best, but we have picked up a couple wins in the last few weeks, which is really nice. And hoping to catch one here as well, week 7. I think this would be our second win, if we can grab it. So he's a really good builder, and his matches have been extremely long. He plays safe. He plays smart, calculative. Uses Wish Pass very well, and I'm pretty prepared for that, I'd say. So that being said, we can talk about our squad now. We have the Aegislash first, which is a max special attack, modest, spooky plate boosted Aegislash with Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, Toxic, and King Shield. We have, I think, enough speed to outpace Wheezing. That way we could pick up maybe a surprise knockout on that thing or something like that. With max special attack and a modest nature in the spooky plate, lots of his squad is potentially 2-hit KO'd if they're not bulky, such as Landorus, Infernape. Wheezing can be easily 2-hit KO'd from Shadow Ball. The Audino should be 2-hit KO'd by Flash Cannon despite bulk or no bulk. It should at least be 2-hit KO'd, which is really nice. This thing gives me a fighting type switch in. Obviously not his fighting type because he's got Infernape, but I can prevent close combat spam, which is really nice because that's been detrimental versus my squad. I also have Mega Gardevoir, which also prevents that, but yeah, doesn't want to take a Flare Blitz or anything like that. Neither does Aegislash. Which brings me to my next one. Hydreigon, which he doesn't really care about fire types, but gets absolutely blown back by fighting types. I've got Taunt, U-Turn, Dragon Pulse, and Roost. Taunt is there to catch Empoleon, Umbreon from Wish Pass and prevents Empoleon from setting up rocks or Click and Roar or any kind of shenanigans. Celebi can't like set up versus me or recover versus me, which is really nice. Landers can't defog or set up rocks versus me unless it's a choice scarf variant, which is pretty cool. Wheezing can't, Pain Split or Will-O-Wisp or Toxic Spike versus me, which is super nice. And we have enough speed to outpace the Kieran Black so that we can always catch it with the Dragon Pulse before it bops us with anything. And we've got a Chople Berry so that we can actually take a close combat from Infernape and fire back with a Dragon Pulse, which at -1 defense should knock, or special defense should knock out the Infernape. We are timid max special attack, so pretty strong. Next up, we've got Mega Gardevoir, which is a Hyper Voice Psychic variant with Wish and Calm Mind. Basically, the idea is to weaken Empoleon and then go in with this set, pretty much. We have enough speed to outpace Q and Black, which allows us to outpace everything on the squad outside of Infernape, Zebstrika, and the Celebi, which is really nice. And then we have max HP, and then a little bit of special attack investment, which was all we needed. With a Calm Mind up, we should be able to bop pretty much his entire squad. Next up, we have a defensive Licky, kind of our Landorus check. If Landorus reveals to like not be Scarf, or it decides it's a bulky set this week or something like that, I can always switch Licky in. I can switch it into the Swords Dance variant too, but I don't necessarily want to. I'd rather just bop the Swords Dance variant as it sets up a Swords Dance. As everything on my team's carrying something that can hit it, for a lot of damage. But in the case, Licky can take a +2 Supersonic Sky Strike and knock out with Ice Beam. It also has Earthquake there, so that Empoleon and Infernape can't freely switch in. And then Protect and Wish there for longevity, and passing wishes off the Hydreigon and Aegislash could be really nice. Next up, we have Rotom Heat, and we have sort of a mixed defense variant, more defensive than anything though. Can take on Infernape a little bit better with the rest of my squad in conjunction with everything. With Volt Switch, Hidden Power, Ice, Pain Split, and Defog. So basically the idea is to just prevent, keep rocks off the field, keep toxic spikes off the field with this thing, and always just Volt Switch out. If he brings in Landers, I can scout for Stone Edge early in the match, and later in the match if he doesn't have it, I can just stay in and click Hidden Power Ice every time he brings it in on my Volt, and I can Pain Split up. So next up we've got a Dugtrio, which is a Focus X variant, Arena Trap, obviously. There to trap, we can Kyurem, so we can Infernape, so we can Empoleon, so we can Gigalith, Zebstrika, whatever it may be. I am speed creeping Zebstrika. I had to run Jolly to do so. I'm able to click Earthquake versus all of those that I mentioned, Hidden Power Ice versus the Landorus Therian. I've got the Sucker Punch there as well, so if it comes down to a potential him having a Choice Scarf Mon that's really weakened, I could potentially catch him off guard with Sucker Punch. And I've also got the Memento there, so that I can potentially set up with my Mega Gardevoir on something, or to just be able to Roost up or Wish up with Hydreigon or Licky respectively. But yeah, it's going to be the squad. Not too much heat or anything. Pretty much a straightforward squad. Nothing too fancy or anything like that. But hopefully it can work. But yeah, we'll go ahead and hop into the replay now. Or actually, I should mention his his Z-move users. Mine are a Selgor and the Hydreigon, and my opponents are, I think. Let me just double check real quick. Alright, so the Z-move users aren't listed, I suppose. I'm pretty sure they were listed. But yeah, that's going to be it for the prep talk, and we can hop into the battle now. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Infernape, Landorus Therian, Umbreon, Gigalith, Weezing, and the Mega Audino. So I definitely expect some Wish shenanigans. I expect Landorus and Infernape to be quite offensive, and then the rest of his mons could be more of a bulkier role, kind of a support mons and things like that. But I noticed he only has 3 potential Stealth Rockers in Infernape, Landorus Therian, and the Gigalith, and then he has the Toxic Spike Setter, which I don't expect him to lead with because I do have Gardevoir, which would be a fine lead for me, and like it could fire off powerful Psychics to start off the game, and I don't think he necessarily wants to switch into that immediately, so I don't expect Gigalith to be his lead of choice. I would expect him to lead something more like Infernape or the Landers, so I'm going to lead off with my Rotom Heat. I think it's my better lead in this matchup, and he's going to lead off with his Infernape and hard switch out into his Landers as I go for the Volt Switch here. And I'm going to go ahead and click the Hidden Power Ice I thought about volt switching again, predicting his U-turn, but in case he had Stone Edge and he wanted to get big damage off versus me, I wanted to go ahead and click that Hidden Power Ice. I could survive one Stone Edge, so I didn't mind to take it, and now I can just volt switch out as he brings in the Aldino. And I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Wish, but he goes for the Thunder Wave and paralyzes me early. This is an early para, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I can just fire off a Flash Cannon, but I'm actually going to go for Toxic, predicting his Umbreon to come in on the potential Swords Dance, or just a Shadow Ball in general, or a Flash Cannon, whatever really. But yeah, I get the Toxic on the Umbreon. It doesn't synchronize because I'm a Steel type, and I'm going to Hard Switch out to my Hydreigon immediately as he reveals Heal Bell. So unfortunately I can't taunt him. So I'm going to Hard Switch out into my Hydreigon here, and he goes for the Heal Bell, which is a little bit unfortunate because I'm not able to taunt him before he actually reveals Heal Bell. And he's going to protect up on my taunt, which is a little bit unfortunate. I decided not to taunt again because it would be useless, as he does go for the Foul Play, and I U-turn out into Licky Licky, which can take no damage here, and I'll throw off a Wish if I want to. I'm actually going to go for Earthquake, predicting Infernape to come in and want to take, big chunks of damage out of my team with close combat. But yeah, I'm going to pull a switch into Rotom, predicting his Protect there, and Volt Switch back out into my Gardevoir, as I can take any hit here. I'm going to Calm Mind up immediately, because I don't really have a reason not to. I guess honestly the better play was to just fire off a Hyper Voice, but I ultimately decided against it and went for Calm Mind, just so that I could start breaking his team. I figured if he went to Gigalith, he would have to double out, scouting for the Focus Blast here, but he could also be Chople Berry too. But I don't have it anyway. I'm gonna go for the Hyper Voice, and he's gonna reveal Heavy Slam, and that caught me super off guard. So I'm gonna go out to Dugtrio here. It's a roll to knock him out if he's max HP, which he gets the roll, which is a little bit unfortunate. And yeah, just gonna knock him out with the second Earthquake. My Sash is not intact anymore, and I'm brought down to 1 HP, but still, Dugtrio is really nice to be able to trap and eliminate weakened threats. Obviously, Landers is a Scarf, I do believe, because it went for U-turn earlier, and hasn't tried attacking much outside of that. He U-turns out into his Umbreon, and I've got my Rotom in, and I can just Volt Switch out, which gives me my Hydreigon once again, and I can click Taunt here, which I'm going to do as he Hard Switches out into his Infernape. And here I'm going to stay in and click Dragon Pulse because I've got the Chople Berry, and I can still take a close combat, and I eliminate Infernape. So the Chople Berry coming in clutch there, allowing us to take the close combat and knock out the Infernape without it netting a knockout is really nice, as big as a threat as it was. And yeah, he brings in his Landers 3 to Revenge Kill Me, and I'm just going to Hard Switch out to my Rotom once again, as U-turn was his likely play. He brings in Mega Aldino. I'm just going to Volt Switch out into my Aegislash here. I get paired, and he gets his Wish back. I don't think it really mattered, as he clicked Protect anyway. I am going to go for, I think I went for the Flash Cannon there, but he switches into Weezing, I get paired, and then I go for the Shadow Ball as he clicks Toxic Spikes. And yeah, he's got Toxic Spikes up now, so I definitely want to defog as soon as I can. I'm going to Toxic Umbreon every chance I get with Aegislash, because I can take a Foul Play pretty comfortably with my defense form, my shield form, and he's only got 8 Heal Bells potentially, so I can waste those and eventually Toxic him, and he won't be able to Heal Bell that off, which is really nice. Anyways, I'm able to defog the Toxic Spikes away, and I'm going to Volt switch out into Aegis Slash here and go for the Shadow Ball, predicting him to switch out. But he actually doesn't. He stays in and he eats that up, which is fine. I can just hard switch out until Licky Licky. I didn't want to risk getting paired on my King Shield and taking a foul play in my blade form. So I hard switch out into Licky Licky, throw off a wish here. I'm going to be able to go into Aegis Slash. He pain splits, but I catch the wish anyway and puts me back to full health, and I get fully paralyzed once again, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is, such as Pokemon. So now I'm clicking Flash Cannon here versus his Mega Audino, and he's going to predict that and go into his Landers, and as I throw off a Toxic finally. Throw off a Toxic there, which came in huge clutch as I catch the Landers with it. So now he has to bring in his Umbreon and Heal Bell for his Landers if he wants that thing to be healthy again, if he wants it to be a solid win condition, something that can potentially lock itself into something that isn't Earthquake and try to win despite having to take damage itself. So he brings out his Weezing here as I'm going to hard switch out to my Licky Licky, not wanting to, get parried or anything, and he throws up a Toxic Spike again. So now I'm going to go out into Rotom Heat because I don't want to take those, and hopefully I don't get poisoned here as he goes for the Sludge Bomb, and I do manage to not be poisoned, which is really nice for me. He leaves his Weezing in, and I go for the Volt Switch. He reveals to be very Spadef, and it takes, 38% or something from a critical hit. And I doubled to get my Hydreigon in here, knowing his Umbreon would come in, and that I could Roost up here. And with that Roost, I think my opponent says GG, says he can't beat Hydreigon, I'm pretty sure, as I taunt him here, and then can whittle him down with Dragon Pulse with the combination of Roost. He hard switches in his Mega Audino here. I can just U-turn out. I don't want to take any damage from that thing. He brings in his Landers. That thing's going to be chipped down a little bit. Here I can click Volt Switch, or I can just double out, predicting the Stone Edge finally. And he does finally reveal Stone Edge as I go into my Aegis Slash. And had I stayed in there and lost Rotom, he could have potentially won. So that's really nice that I scouted for that. And I'm able to defog these Toxic Spikes away once again as he finally Heal Bells the poison off on the Landers Therian. But he concedes defeat here, which is a little bit unfortunate. We didn't get to play it out and see if either of us could make a mistake. I could have very well made a mistake and he could have won. So, yeah, it's going to be a good game. We're going to win 5-4, which turns into a 5-0 or a 6-0 victory. Either way, our differential skyrockets up, and we get our second win of the second victory of the season, which is really nice. And yeah, that's going to be it. So let me know what you guys thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.